So as you all know, we're witnessing all across the state, all across the nation, protests that are happening over the killing of George Floyd. Let me make this clear first and foremost, as I have several times. George Floyd's murder was uncalled for, and the folks who committed it should be punished. Those who witnessed it and did nothing, those who actually committed, the man who actually committed, they should be held accountable to the highest extent under our law. So no one is excusing his killing. In fact, we mourn his killing because it was a city official who did it, and we put our trust in these folks. So it was a terrible act, and nobody's standing behind that. That being said, there's a big difference between protest and the violence that we're seeing now. Protesters do what we've seen in the past. They go out, they hold signs, they chant slogans, they draw people in with their message, and they share the message with others peacefully. The violence that we're seeing right now, folks, is not protest. It's anarchy. And we need to draw a distinct line between that. That being said, we also need to point something else out. We need to point out the fact that a lot of this aggression has been misplaced. Right here in Raleigh, we saw a group of protesters who went down to the North Carolina GOP and issued a list of demands. My question to those protesters would have been this. Those same folks who marched to the GOP have voted for Democrats to run not only Raleigh, but many of the major cities all across this nation. Even Minneapolis itself is a stronghold for Democrats, leftist Democrats, I might add. When those policies go wrong, why is it that those folks automatically turn around and blame the GOP? When it's been the GOP traditionally throughout history that has stood up for the rights of all people. All the way back to the inception of the Republican Party. The Republican Party was formed by those who wanted to rid this nation of slavery. Abolitionists who believed that slavery and knew that slavery could not survive in a nation that said that all men are created equal. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments of the Constitution, which ended slavery, gave equal protection under the law, and gave black men the right to vote, all passed by Republicans. The 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote, passed by Republicans. Jim Crow and separate but equal was repealed by a Republican on the Supreme Court, Earl Warren. And now we see the same thing today. President Trump with his criminal justice reform and his fight to make sure that people have equal access to education. Those are the types of things that Republicans have always fought for in this nation and continue to fight for in this nation and in this state. So we need to remember that the aggression that we are seeing right now is misplaced. Not only is it illegal in many cases, not only is it damaging people's lives and livelihoods, the blame needs to be placed at the feet of the people who have caused these situations. And it is not Republicans. Republicans have always stood up for fiscal responsibility. They've always stood up for equality, and they've always stood up for freedom. And the proof is in the numbers. So I would urge everybody out there, if you really want to make a solid change in this nation, we don't need to burn, we don't need to bomb, we don't need to loot. We need to go to the polls, and we need to vote for strong, conservative Republicans. It will make a change in this state, and it will make a change in every state around this nation. Thank you.